Hi everybody, and welcome back to Mike's Magic Meals. It's getting late in the afternoon. We decided we're going to have some chicken thighs this evening. Chicken thighs LA, and they're frozen. So I'm going to show you the quicker way to defrost these. As I mentioned, I typically date stuff that I put in the freezer. These were from the first of the month. I've got the sous vide stick in the bucket. I'm just going to drop these in, and just like that, I'll be using that phone to turn on, take the app, turn on the Joule machine. 45 minutes from now, these will be defrosted and ready to cook. So about 30 seconds later, I've got the machine turned on. I use the app that happens to be on my phone to do that, but I wanted you to come over here. What I'm doing is basically taking cold water, recirculating it over the chicken, and it'll take about 45 minutes to defrost. I just think it's a better way of doing it rather than just dropping frozen stuff in a sink or even having a trickle water over it. So this will be about 45 minutes, at which point we'll get back together and I'll show you how to season and what we're going to do with the chicken thighs New Orleans. New Orleans? Wait, it's LA. It's LA. We live in LA. See you in a bit. So preparing to actually get started on the chicken. The frozen chicken has been in the sous vide machine. That's at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm not adding any heat to it. I'm just recirculating the water. Anyway, it has been 45 minutes, and I can see that the thighs are completely defrosted. So at this point, I'm just going to pull them out of the bath, shut things off, and I'll put them on the tray, and we'll season them, and we'll get them in the oven. Time to season, and we're calling these, it's kind of funny, some years ago I had a hankering for chicken wings. We created something that I called Chicken Wings New Orleans. And it was essentially a similar spice mixture to what we're going to put on this evening, and Tabasco sauce, and they're baked instead of fried for two reasons. I didn't have a fryer, and second, I thought I could probably keep them as moisture if I did a kind of a gentle bake. That's transitioned to what I call Chicken Wings LA. That's Lower Alabama for those of you who haven't been watching. And I actually really do kind of change things up. I'm going to use Cholula hot sauce instead of Tabasco because I found that I just like it better. And the trick to this is to season everything pretty well. Right now, these are skin side up. I'm going to invert them because...
And you're using thighs this time as opposed to wings.
This is chicken thighs. And this is about, probably a pound and a half of chicken thighs. It's more than Trudy and I will be able to eat. So there will probably be some leftovers, which means somebody gets a little bit of chicken salad in the next couple of days. The point here is that at a pound and a half or so, what I'm preparing is about $1.50 of protein, and I promise it'll be delicious. I've done this maybe 100 times, maybe more. It is simple, it is straightforward, and after the first time, it's darn near foolproof. So nothing here is a secret mix. This is all stuff that you can buy over the counter. Or the equivalent over the counter if it's not in your market. Lowry's, the prime rib. Well, let me break the news. It tastes pretty good. Oh, my goodness. Wrong side. Well, I'll take that one. It tastes pretty good on the chicken thighs as well. So I move things from one side.
Can you shake some of it off?
Okay. You know, the home cook, man. We're doing our best. I wouldn't serve that to a guest. I'd be eating it myself. I've got some garlic powder, or actually it's granulated garlic, and interesting, it hasn't yet been opened, so we're getting all of the good stuff here. And let's see if I can put this together so that I don't just dump garlic on the thigh. Or which one do you want to dump on? So here we go, a little garlic powder. This is lemon pepper. All of these things typically have a salt component. Obviously, the seasoned salt does.
So you're just giving it a shake.
Just giving it a light shake. I don't want to bury anything. And I also don't want it to just taste like salt. Fortunately, this doesn't. This is poultry seasoning. Again, this is from our friends at McCormick. I've got some Tony, I'm not even going to try and pronounce, Creole. And again, it just gets a light dusting. I've got a little of Paul Prudhomme's Poultry Magic, and I just have learned to like it. No biggie. And then the final thing is Cholula. And I've learned over the years that I can actually put this together, put it in a bowl, and you can hold it for 8 hours or overnight if you want it. This turns out just as well. So I'm going to splash the Cholula on, and it's liberal. This is not a real spicy hot sauce. If you have something that's real, I mean, pick one that you want. Pick one that you enjoy, but be careful because sometimes the heat can concentrate, and I don't want to, I want flavor, I don't want heat. And just realize that this is another seasoning that I probably ought to taste first. Nope, not going to add it to the chicken. I'm going to turn them over, and I want the skin side up. This is going to be seasoned last because from this point it's going directly into the oven. And I want to give you a little preface about what's going to happen. These thighs on this oven is going to go in at 325 fan. That's 325 convection. And because they're cold and because they're pretty large, I've got the time. I'm going to probably put them in the first side at 28 minutes. Then I'm going to turn them over and put them in for another 26, and then turn them over again for another 26. And the idea is to get it cooked through, get it perfectly cooked, keep them unbelievably moist, but I also want the skin on top to be crispy and inviting. So that's our process. So once again, let's see if I can, how about that? I didn't open the bottle and just dump it out. That's the seasoned salt again, the Tony Cacheres, and it doesn't matter the order. A little bit of poultry seasoning, Paul Prudhomme and Company. A little bit of the garlic, the lemon pepper.
And you're doing that from on high.
Yeah, I do it about, I don't know, it's probably 8 or 10 inches. I have never found I'm able to get a whole piece of anything seasoned uniformly by doing it down low. I just don't have that kind of control through my fingers. So I do it from up here, I don't know, maybe that's a foot. I try not to make a mess, but yeah, that's a joke. I end up with stuff everywhere, and I look for your forbearance. And it's just a way that I've found is, for me, it's best. I try it and clean up your own damn mess. Here's the Cholula sauce. Again, just on top. And it's not a great deal. On the other hand, you know, this stuff, I love this stuff. I told you last week, Frank's, you know, I put that stuff on everything. This is delicious. I actually put it most mornings on eggs. So anyway, this is going to go into the oven. I have the oven preheated. It's 325 fan. So I'm going to plunk it in, and we'll turn it in about 28, 29 minutes. Nothing to it.
Now, it should be noted, I think, that you use a baking sheet.
That's a baking tray. It is not a cookie tray. It is aluminum. It is sturdy. It is remarkable cooking tool. You put the racks are replaceable. If you don't have one of those or more than one, I'd encourage you to pick them up. You can pick them up at a kitchen supply store. I actually picked those up used, and they've been fabulous, and I've had them for, I don't know, 20, 25 years. Absolutely, the tools that you use in the kitchen make things so much easier, and honestly really help with the preparation and the presentation.
And you raise the chicken up on the rack, and the reason for that
I don't understand your question.
is there a reason you use a rack for the chicken?
Oh, I don't want it sitting in its own fat. So there is actually a baking rack under the chicken. I did not put it directly onto the aluminum foil or onto the tray. And the reason is that I want any fat to drip off. I don't want it to just sit there. I mean, I have no problem with fat, but to me that's not particularly appetizing, and it really moves against kind of the crispy exterior that I'm looking for. So I'm raising it a little bit. We'll drop it off. I'm going to turn it twice. So as I mentioned, it's going to go 27, 28 minutes. I'm going to turn it, we'll inspect it, and then we'll turn it again. And honestly, if we need to go a little longer, I'll just add an extra 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. So, cattywampus collar and all, I just thought I'd give you an idea of what we're having as a side with chicken this evening. Trudy, the sous chef, basically has taken what was fresh and in the fridge, and that's how we're going to eat tonight. Zucchini, some mushrooms, some sliced leeks, and some garlic. And if you're not familiar with this kind of press, it's a garlic press. It is great. You basically smash down on it and it's instant. All of this is going to go into a little saute pan. We'll toss it a little bit. Not going to bore you with it because you get to watch somebody toss in a pan or stirring a pan or whatever you want to call it. So anyway, that's going to be on the side. We'll give you a peek at it once it's done and we have the chicken out and we're ready to go. So the timer just went off, and I want to take a peek at the chicken thighs, and it's not, the skin isn't quite as crispy as I want it. So I'm going to put it back in for another 3 or 4 minutes. I'll pull it out once the timer goes off, and we'll take a look at it over on the stovetop. So the chicken is essentially done. We're doing the veggies. We have the mise en place over here. I've tasted them, and they're just a little bit bland. I'm going to add a little bit of salt. But this is the zucchini, the leeks, the mushrooms. Gosh, what else? Oh, a little bit of garlic. And as I said, I've already tasted that these. What's to go wrong here? This is just delicious. Anyway, I'll see you when, you know, it needs a little pepper too. How about that? I don't want to let the zucchini get too mushy. I like a little bite to it. Everything else is really progressing the way that I hope. And we'll plate it, give you a look at it, but I already know this is going to be delicious. It's kind of hard to go back to back with that chicken, but I think we're going to do it tonight. And just an FYI, this is stuff, you know, we're facing a rough economy and we try and economize where we can. This was a couple of zucchini that were on the edge of going bad. Some mushrooms that we had in the fridge, a little garlic that we keep around because I like garlic in just about everything. And the leeks we used in a pate or a terrine or something. All of it goes in, and the bottom line is we're putting together a meal for two of us. It's probably going to run about $4. And I would argue that the flavors they're going to challenge anything that you're going to get at a restaurant. You can do it yourself. That's the magic part. So the chicken's out, the zucchini is done. I want to make sure the fire is off under everything. I'm going to plate because it looks fabulous. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to turn it over because I like it turned over. Isn't that kind of funny? I also want to, wrong drawer, excuse me. The zucchini looks great. Oh, way to go, Mike. We're not going to reshoot that. It's just for an FYI, if you ever dump something on your stove, you go ahead and you make up to it. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit of this butter sauce that I made. This is butter, this is Cholula, and it's fresh lemon. I melted it. I actually zapped it in the microwave. I'm going to put just a drizzle over both of the mains. And I can hardly wait. I just need to taste this. Chicken wings, Lower Alabama.
You mean chicken thighs?
Did I say wings?
Uh-huh.
I don't care. It's just delicious. Like I said, I think we got about $2 into this meal for two of us. You know, I've had the hot sauce that they perfected up in Buffalo, or the wing sauce, and it basically is Frank's hot sauce and butter. This is better. It's got a little bit of brightness to it. The seasoning here, this isn't fried, and it still has a crispness and a texture that's just fabulous. The chicken is perfectly done. It's moist. I want to taste the zook. Okay. When you hit the epitome, what do you say? This is a great meal. This is a Thursday night supper, and it's something close to leftovers. Gosh, I hope we can get together and cook. This is really good.